Hey guys, just sitting out on the deck in the rain, but I'm under the gazebo, so it's okay. I wanted to give you guys one final COVID update. 23 days in, and COVID put me on my knees again yesterday. I will explain. So, 23 days in, and I'm starting to sound like myself. I've had this terrible hacking cough, and it's changed my voice. My head was filling up every day. I was still sleeping, sitting up, either on the couch or with like 4 pillows in my bed, because every time I lay down, my head would fill up, my ears, my sinuses. That was about 20 days of that, okay? So I don't know what form of COVID I had, but I'll tell you guys, it took until about 21 days before I really started feeling like myself again, okay? So, I went metal detecting yesterday in the morning for 3 hours, and then I played a round of golf yesterday afternoon. I didn't make it through the whole round of golf. I had lots of energy until hole 15. So, I'm blaming COVID 100% on this, okay? Now, my wife is out of town, so that might have something to do with this as well, right? I'll explain what happened. I went metal detecting. I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't have anything to drink, so I came home and I'm famished. I opened the fridge, and in the crisper, underneath the cauliflower and all the stuff the kids don't eat, I found a package of lunch meat. The strange thing was that it was in a Ziploc bag. And there was no date. It wasn't like in the package you buy it from the grocery store, so I could check the expiry date. So, what does any normal guy do? You open the package, you smell it, right? Well, I have no sense of smell, or very little sense of smell. So this is what I figure happened, okay? My wife wasn't here for me to ask her, hey, should I eat this? We don't know how long it's been in the fridge. It doesn't smell bad, but, I don't know. I'm pretty sure my wife would have stopped me. But like any guy, if you don't have that guidance, you're just gonna, rely on yourself, self-reliance. And I thought, I'm a grown parent, I can make that decision, and I'm gonna eat that lunch meat. And when I reached into the Ziploc bag and I pulled it out to put it on the bread, I was like, it feels a little slimy, but, it didn't smell bad, right, guys? How many of you guys out there would have ate it, right? 98% of you. Without your wife standing there saying, don't eat that, you guys would have did the same thing. And I think it cost me, because I went golfing with Tom. We made it to hole 13. And I said to Tom, hey, do you got any Tums in your purse? I'm not feeling very good. And he just chuckled. He got the last laugh, though, because by hole 15, I had to quit. I said, no, dude, we got to make a break for the truck. I'm going to be sick. So there we are, leaving hole 15, and there's a nice open 100-yard field where I can skip across to get back over to where the vehicles are. I make it right into the middle of that open field where there's like 15 people watching me. I hit my knees and I threw up so hard. Guys, I swear it was coming out my nose. There's Tom laughing. I'm dying, like literally. It was terrible. I'm pretty sure it was the lunch meat. There's more to that story. So we make it back to the truck. I have just enough time. I only live 4 kilometers from the golf course. I get to the end of my driveway. I told Tom I'm not done. I had to stop at the end of my driveway. Tom got out. I said, walk home, just go. There I am in the weeds, on my hands and knees, throwing up again at the end of my driveway. He unloads his stuff. He walks home. I get the truck from the end of the driveway up to the garage. I'm sick again. Then I get in the house, I'm in the shower, I somehow get in the shower, I'm on my hands and knees, I can't get up. That's how sick I was, guys. I can laugh about it now. It's strange. I went from the shower to the toilet, and I basically, when you used to be a kid, 20 years old, hungover, and you spend half the night leaning over the toilet bowl with your face right inside? Well, that was me yesterday, okay? And this, whatever it was, hit me so fast, so hard, I literally couldn't leave that toilet for an hour. I was just too weak, too sick. Eventually, I made it to the couch. My wife brings me a drink. I fall asleep. Gravol. I finally got some Gravol to stay down. Once that happened, I slept for a couple hours. And the amazing thing is, I woke up at 11 o'clock last night. This happened about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. My dad called me. He was going to take me out for lunch today. And I stopped him mid-sentence. I'm like, no, I can't go. I can't eat. I'm never going to eat again. I'm so sick right now. I fell asleep. At 11 o'clock last night, I woke up and I was starving. It's so weird. I got up and I had a snack, so I knew I was all right. I survived. Then my wife tells me this morning, she says, oh, I threw out the rest of the bread that was on the counter in the bread thing. She said it was all moldy. So was it the moldy bread or was it the bad lunch meat? I don't know. But either way, I'm blaming it on COVID because I didn't smell moldy bread or bad lunch meat, which caused me to eat that stuff and made me sick. So COVID took me out again yesterday. I'm sticking to that. It was COVID's fault. So what I will say, guys, the thing that helped me the most get through the COVID, the 20 days, I use a nose spray for my sinus, my allergies. It's a steroid spray, Demista. I usually don't use that very often. I'll only use that when allergy season is peaked, and I'll use it for a week here and there. Well, I used it for almost the full 20 days. And it really helped because I was like full congested every day. This COVID, I'm going to tell you guys, this COVID, I had influenza, 3 years ago. When you actually catch the flu that goes around, people always say, oh, I had the flu last week. No, you didn't. You had a common cold, you had whatever. When you get the actual flu, influenza, it's very similar to COVID. And I had a cough from that influenza for 6 weeks. I had a fever for a week, and again, I was out for 10 or 12 days, no energy, and then I had that continuing cough. And that was the first time in my life that I ever used a turbo inhaler. My wife gets these through the office, so normally I don't touch any of that stuff, but trust me, it helps. Same thing with this COVID. I would start coughing, and you get to a point where you can't stop, and you're coughing so hard you can't breathe. Well, the inhaler just stops you from coughing, and then you can sleep for a few hours. Totally recommend that, guys. I forget which, your doctor will tell you what's in it and which one to get, but the inhaler was immense in helping me sleep and just control that cough. It's almost gone. You can still hear it in my voice a little bit. This is day 23, I believe. Right now, I feel I'm 95%. I can go out on a day's adventure and do, metal detecting and whatever else. You guys will see some videos coming up. Found some cool stuff. And I'm feeling much better. So that's pretty much the end of the COVID update, guys. If you can make it, in worst case scenario, like pretty much a month, if you're, I had all 3 shots going into this, so I'm presuming that helped me, because before when I got the influenza, I was like almost 6 weeks before I got better over that one. So, I tell myself the shots helped, and I'm still recommending to everyone out there, get your shots. You know what? It's not going to hurt you. How bad could it have been? I don't know, but I'm glad the 23 days is over with. I'm on to bigger and better things. So my dad took me out to lunch down at the casino. He's got these points. They comp you so many points. I don't know. I think the more money you spend, the more points you get, and you can use them at the restaurant. He's got $250 in comped points already, and the casinos have only been open since April. I'm going to have to start watching him. He's in there spending my inheritance. Anyway, he took me for lunch last week, and this morning I called him and said, hey, I am feeling better, so let's go for lunch. Free lunch, I can't pass that up, right? That doesn't matter how sick I was yesterday. I was going for free lunch. He's trying to use up his points because the casino now tells him, I think every month they take so many points off your card. To me, that's wrong, right? It's just a way to get these old-timers like him. Oh, we're going to take your points. So he goes in for lunch, and then he spends $100 or $200 at the machines while he's there, right? It's such a scam what they do to these guys. But, hey, if he wants to take me for lunch and use up his points, I went. So I spent the big $20 today. Of course, I didn't win anything. Last week I spent $40, didn't win anything. That's it. He can take me for free lunch, but I am not spending any more money at that stupid casino. I recommend you guys don't either. So Stan and I are supposed to be, I look like I'm slouching, but I'm not. I've kind of got my feet up. I'm just relaxing. Stan and I are supposed to be going after Voyager stuff again, maybe next week. We've got a place that we've got a boat or kayak into. So that will be one adventure coming up. It's in the literature. We've got a spot where they were talking about hundreds of Voyageurs working on the trail between these two lakes. And it's because they had many injuries there. Guys that were killed and guys that did not recover from injuries. It's right in the literature. So they brought in a couple hundred Voyageurs, and I think it took 10 years of them working on this trail for it to become the main passage that they used for the next 200 years. So we know where the spot is. We're going to go check it out. That should be upcoming shortly. As well, I also want to do one more test with the Necrophonic app. So we went back here, we got Demon, Demon, Demon. I tried a different place. We didn't get Demon at all, not once. So then we came back here, went in the swamp behind the house again, and we got Demon, Demon, Demon again. So for the fourth test, I want to go somewhere completely different and just see what it spits out. There is more to it, guys. It said my full name, Gary Reed, like twice in the last video. It keeps saying the names of people, you know, that have passed on that I know. I'm not 100% on when it starts spitting out the haunted, scary stuff, you know, like, is that just generic? That's what the app is, right? It's kind of like a game or party app where it's made to spit out these words. If it's not cohesive sentences or answering questions that I ask, you know, sometimes it does. Sometimes it makes sense. But can I make sense out of it spitting out enough words? Am I making sense out of nothing? I don't know. So more testing required. At least one more test somewhere else where we try to see how many times it spits out that dirty demon word again. And if we don't get it in the next spot, which is not in my back swamp, then I will be much more convinced as to what's going on back there. Because even the Hack Shack, it tells me there's something scary back there too. So, I mean, it's not that I don't believe it, guys. I do. But Scientific Gary I need to be kicked a few times for, you know, I need 100% proof. So, more testing. I also cleaned out the back of the truck. See, there's the COVID voice right there. I cleaned out the back of the truck, and I'm going to put my futon mattress in there. And Gage and I are going to go camp out. I want to do a bit of squatching north of here, just pick some old logging roads and camp out for a night or two. Go for a hike, look for some sign. Always looking for tracks. I mean, we can look for wildlife and things on the way too. Bring the night camera. We can film the stars. I'm thinking 2 nights, and we'll just camp right out of the truck. I'll make sure that I buy new lunch meat and supplies for the trip. Not taking any more chances. And I've got camping coming up at 2 provincial parks in the next month and a bit. I'm going with my friend Jen, the Wild Yam, to one place. And I'm going with my buddy Steve and his family back to the chutes that we went to last year. So, some outdoor camping. I'm going to bring the metal detector to both, and we'll do the beaches and the river system at the chutes. We did try it with the little handheld PI King 750 that I have. I didn't find a lot of stuff last time, but maybe if we bring a real detector, we'll have better luck. Oh, and I was talking to a guy down at the casino. He was doing the floors with the floor machine, and my dad knew him, and he's a real history buff, Brian. And this guy was telling me that there's a POW camp, World War II, south of here. He told me exactly where it is, and I think we're going to go detect that. He said, you need a 4-wheeler to get to it, so hey, we got the new 4-wheeler. I got to do some research online. He couldn't remember the name of the camp, but he told me what road it's on and the general area, so I should be able to nail that down, and that might be a great place to go find some World War II history, which super excites me, because in this area, there's not a lot of those camps. There's a few, but they're usually quite a ways south from here. So to have one, 100 kilometers from here, we'll make that trek. I will go if I can find exactly where it is. That will be on the channel as well.